Hello, my name is Luca Mallory, and today I'm going to be giving a short presentation about the different phases of the wheel of retailing. And I'm going to be giving examples on how this would relate to a certain business. Now, what this business does is they sell products that come from foreign countries that are usually of lesser income, and they buy basically they buy handmade, homemade objects. So whether that be jewelry or maybe a vase or something like that, they sell it to consumers in America, and they sell it as a way to actually give back money to those people who come from less or income areas. So not only does it provide the consumer with a product that is unique and special to them, it also gives something back to the people who made it, and really helps them out in ways that they may not otherwise have been able to do. So there are three phases, as is always in the wheel of retailing. There is the first phase, which is the entry phase, the second phase, which is the trading up phase, and the third phase, which is the vulnerability phase. The first phase would consist of maybe like just an internet website. That would be my suggestion to start out with. Just a simple web-based platform and maybe an office. Just one office where you would ship all of the products coming in from the other countries. Just ship them and store them all in one place. And just kind of have like the general office space and the workplace there. Shipping would cost money in the first phase because as a new and upcoming company, they don't really have the kind of resources to really spend a lot of money and give a lot of discounts like that, especially when it comes to shipping, because shipping can really hurt your business, especially when you're new. So shipping would be free if the items are bought in bulk, however. So, while they would cost money regardless, if you were to, say, get 3 items, you would get free shipping on 2 of the items. So you would only be paying for 1 for the shipping, if that makes any sense. I personally would have a huge emphasis on advertising, on where it comes from and why it's unique. So the advertisements wouldn't be necessarily flashy or big at first because it's probably just going to be to a local area, or even just a simple YouTube video, which wouldn't cost any money at all, if done specifically by you, which gets a little tricky. However, there are ways to pull it off, and it would be an inexpensive way to get the word out about what the product actually does. There would also be, in my plan, there would be early customer bonuses. So little bonuses like 20% off products in the future, after a given date. So when the company actually ends up growing into the second stage, you still have the same price that you did at the beginning phase because you're a long time customer. The packaging would be nice, relatively simple, probably just like some brown sack paper or something like that with like a little tied twine around it to make it feel a little more personal. That's what I personally would do. I have gotten products in the mail like that, and every time it makes me smile. It feels good to get mail and see somebody put effort into the packaging. Now moving on to phase 2, which is the trading up phase. And of course, in the trading up phase, you're trading up from the beginnings with the competitive pricing and all that kind of stuff, where products are kind of low quality, but they're cheap to get, and people want to save money, so they buy them instead of high-end products. So phase 2, I would personally move from the office to a bigger professional environment and actually open up a physical store. Now, the reason I didn't do this in phase 1 is that it would cost a huge amount of money to sell from just a location, and you're not getting a mass market that could potentially be global. So when you're selling online from a specific site, even just exclusively selling in the US would be a much better idea than just selling in one tiny little shop in, say, New York. Like, you're going to get a lot more sales if you do advertising correctly. So and also just to upgrade the warehouse space with this move. And because the company is going to be growing bigger, It's going to need better facilities than it did in the past, so it's going to need a lot more room to keep those products and keep up with the demand. The website would be updated to be more user-friendly, just going to get a fresh look and give people a new idea of what, just to liven it up and make it seem new. I'd really suggest pulling a mobile website at that point and making it so that you can see a different version that is phone-friendly. Begin to sell limited edition items during the second phase. So items that are, like, being that they're all 100% unique, and that's the idea of the company. They're making products that are each individual and handmade, and none of it's alike. It's specifically yours, made for you, and no one else in the world has that product like you. However, I would have some basic models. So, for instance, like a necklace, different woven necklaces made out of maybe just like tightly woven paper, but then like covered in a glaze or something like that, some decorative color looking things. What I would do is I would release limited edition products that were in that same kind of formation. So like the normal necklace, but like maybe with it has a special pendant or something like that, or a special design on it. What I would do is I would make that a limited edition sale. I'd only produce a small amount of them, and then would kind of to make it feel like more of a prestige product, like it's a luxury item, something that you can show off to your peers to show your social status. I would start doing updated, nicer printed packaging over literally physically wrapping each of the products, and doing all the twine and that kind of stuff. Because it's on a bigger level, that is unrealistic, and you're going to need to make it in mass amounts. But I would definitely use higher quality cardboard, make that pattern look really nice on it so that customers aren't turned off by just an ugly brown box. And then I would do a less emphasis on advertising, since the word's already kind of getting out there, and word of mouth is really going to help at this point. In fact, it's probably the most important and the most effective way of advertising at this point. And then we move into phase 3, which is the vulnerability stage. And this is the stage where the product becomes literally vulnerable to other little tiny businesses that have kind of come up and they're offering competitive pricing, just like this company did in the beginning phase. So what I would be doing with this one is I would be just nixing the advertising campaigns. Everyone knows what this product is. It's a huge company. Just to kind of have the advertising on the site itself. So maybe sponsor some events, maybe a few minimal advertising. Don't spend all your budget in it, because people already know about it, so it doesn't really matter at this. It doesn't matter as much as it did in the beginning. I'd go to free shipping. That could really help get some people interested in the products that they may not have been willing to pay $3.89 for shipping before. Higher costs, of course. By stage 3, this should be kind of more of a prestige product. Kind of like it was in phase 2, but it was kind of a wannabe prestige product, if that makes any sense. So like, almost there. So kind of like the iPod Nano, versus the iPhone. People want the iPhone, but the iPod Nano is up there. Like, it's still a luxury item, but it's not quite at the top of the luxury line. So by this point, it would be just a complete luxury product. And high prices, but it would be of excellent quality and just like 100% unique. Maybe just put gems, precious gems in there. Really up what materials the product is actually made out of. And then lastly, to kind of cut down on the coupons, just so that, again, it stays as a prestige product. Just to kind of model off of Apple, who almost never does sales on any of their products, because they're trying to create that image that their products are of really high worth and justifying that really high price that they set. And once it gets to prestige product, I put a huge emphasis on handcrafted and unique, just like it did in the first stage, which probably should be done in the second stage as well, but especially important in the third stage, because wealthy consumers tend to like to have the idea that what they have, no one else has. So to kind of do that, even if it was like in an auction format online at that point, To be able to do that and create an item that makes somebody feel special, like they have something that literally no one else has. So their friends can't just go out and buy a completely new one. They can show it off, huge social status, and it's gonna it's pricey, but it's gonna look good. Anyway, that would be my idea for the wheel of marketing and what the different phases I would do. I hope I explained that all right. And I would love any feedback that I can get on that. Thank you.